Today's video is just a quick follow-up to a couple of my more recent videos where I talked about toner and I talked about hot roots. And this is just a question that I'm asked a lot and that I see a lot of stylists not having 100% comprehension of why we do things this way. So hot roots are when we either use the wrong formula or the wrong technique. And the hair at the base gets lighter than the hair at the ends. Toner is when we adjust the tone, usually of pre-lightened hair, to either enhance or diminish the color that we're seeing. Why don't we tone with permanent color? There's a perception that because permanent color is called permanent, that it is going to last the longest. A lot of times people will try to tone with permanent color with the hopes that the toner will last longer. I don't believe that that's advisable or that they'll be successful in that. So here are the reasons why you don't want to use permanent color to tone with. Number one, it smells terrible. Permanent color is going to have ammonia in it, and when you put it in wet hair, it smells awful. I feel like the whole shampoo area smells like eye-watering litter box. It's really bad. There's something about putting the permanent color on wet hair that makes that smell diffuse even more so than if you were just doing it on dry hair. Two, hot roots or even unpredictable results. We'll say hot roots. Let's say we just highlighted a guest. You could have done a balayage. You could have done classic foil highlights. Take them to the shampoo bowl, rinse them out. They need a toner because they always do. You use permanent color. What's the worst that could happen? Well, if the hair is highlighted, whether it's just on the ends or, essentially every other hair, and the hair in between, the hair that hasn't been highlighted is virgin hair. What's one of the things that permanent hair color does best? It lightens at the same time as depositing. So if I'm using a very light color to try to balance the tone of the highlights, the color is not smart enough to know to only deposit on the highlights. It is also going to lighten the hair in between those highlights, but not a lot. There's not much pigment in it. If you're using a color that only has enough pigment to cover the light hairs, but enough strength to lighten the dark hairs, you are going to get like red or orange undertones in between your highlights, which is going to make the whole thing overall look warmer, and you're not going to be satisfied with the results unless you're trying to make the whole thing look warmer, which is usually not the case. So it smells terrible. It can lighten virgin hair in between. Worst case scenario, it'll just lighten the base and you'll end up with hot roots. It's going to give you unpredictable results because permanent color is not meant to be put on damp hair. It's actually meant to be put on dry hair. It can be put on partially damp hair, but usually not on hair that's as damp as when we tone. Toners should always be demi-permanent in order to only deposit. Remember how I said that permanent color wasn't smart enough to only deposit, but it was also going to lift the hair that hadn't been lightened? Well, there is a color that is smart enough to only deposit. That's deposit only color, or our demi-permanent color. So if you don't want it to smell terrible, if you want predictable results, and you don't want the hair in between the highlights to get lighter, don't tone with permanent color. Hey guys, thanks for watching this video. If you like what you saw and you want to see some more, go ahead and check out some of my other videos. Feel free to share with any of your nerdy friends. Click the subscribe button. If you have any questions or comments, leave them below. Let me know what else you want to hear about. Thank you so much for stopping by, and I'll see you next time.